Hello and welcome back to a mid-World Cup Chelsea chat when we have a look at a few things that are going on. I've already said my piece, not on Chelsea chat, but in lots of Facebook groups and on Twitter about the Mason Mount situation. I cannot get over a supposed support base that gives so much hatred to one of our players, and people say, oh, it's only because he's a Cobham graduate that you like that. Well, partly yeah, but I basically based my opinion of Mason Mount on the fact that he's won Player of the Year 2 years in a row. Last night I said, well, he has won Player of the Year 2 years in a row, and this guy, a Chelsea supporter, said, for who? For who? That shows what level of support we've actually got out there from these cabbages. So what I base it on is data, statistics, and yeah, football's not played by data and statistics. We know that. I'm the first one to say that. And Mason Mount hasn't played that well this season, perhaps 1 or 2 games. We haven't played that well this season, and the data still says he's our best player. Doesn't matter what you think. If you're a plumber from Pimlico or a gamer from Gainsborough or a FIFA manager out in the Gambia, it doesn't matter what you think or what I think. The stats don't lie, and every single manager that manages Chelsea puts his name on the team sheet first. So what does that tell you? The England manager plays him. Klopp wants to sign him. Guardiola says he'd love him in his team. So what do you know that these managers don't? And if you're a supporter, why do you keep hating on, well, certain ones of our players, but any of our players? Why not actually support them when they're going through a rough patch? Support them. Now, I got told a couple of weeks ago, because I do talk to someone within the club who tells me not to cite what I've been told, but just gives me a little bit of info, that Mason Mount's contract talks have been put on hold until after the World Cup. Agreed by both sides. Now, the American owners, they've come in with a new package of contracts built on incentives that our players, our existing players, in fact most players in the Premiership, have not seen before. They also wanted Mason Mount to sign a 7-year contract, and his agent, his father, only wants him to sign 5 at a time. Sticking point number 1. Sticking point number 2, how you get up to the £200,000 when bonuses come in to get your wages up to that. Now, some geezer at the Daily Mail put out that Mason Mount had turned down a £200,000 a week contract when Sterling's getting £300,000 and Reece James has just signed for £250,000. And with no context behind it at all.
Irrelevant, boring, old, yesterday's news. Out the way, excuse me, we're coming in.
Our supporters rained a ton of shit down on Mason Mount. Why it happens, I do not know. I don't know. Because as I say, all the stats, everything, make him our best overall player. Even above Reece. And that's going to hurt some of you, I know. But then again, Reece has seen some of our support, hasn't he? He has 2 or 3 bad games. suddenly he's getting racist tweets and he's rubbish. Our support base is largely brilliant, really supportive people, but we've got an ever-growing minority online of low IQ'd, low football IQ'd, although it probably is IQ'd, expectors who don't support. They're just negative, negative, negative. And obviously, their IQ is so low that they just believe everything they've seen in print. I just hope you don't buy the Daily Sport, because if you do, I've got no idea what you'll think of the world that we live in. But there's no support there. So that's my thoughts over the Mason Mount thing. For those that have asked me about it, I was told, I say, a couple of weeks ago, when that news report came out, I come out and said what I'd been told. He wants to sign, but obviously if you're going to sign for 6 or 7 years, you want built in what's going to keep you in parity with your achievements. The club's there, Mason and his representatives there. So hopefully, an element of our support don't drive him out. I'd probably be wanting to go to City by now, and I'm a Chelsea supporter. But I think he's Chelsea through and through, unlike some of our support base, and I expect him to sign. So what about players that we're looking at? Shall we have a little look at them and let's see what you think, and let's see what I think, and let's see if we've got an exciting January and an even more exciting summer to come next year. Oh, and before that, can you do me a favour? If you're watching this, will you subscribe? And would you throw the video a like? It helps me algorithm. So thanks for doing that if you manage to do that. So it looks like we've all but signed Christopher Nkunku, a very good attacking midfielder stroke striker from Leipzig, a teammate of Timo Werner actually. And here's his stats. And I looked at them and it struck me, the comparisons with Timo Werner before in the season before he joined us. So whilst I'm excited about Nkunku joining us, I've got lots and lots and lots of reservations about it, to be honest. But let's hope I'm wrong, and let's hope all of you that are raving over him are right. Certainly a decent player technically, but whether he fits into the Premier League, we don't know until they get here, do we? Particularly from that Bundesliga. Costing us about 60 million apparently, so let's hope he's worth every penny of that. Let me know what you think, especially those of you that follow Bundesliga football more than I do, which will probably be most of you. And we've got an interest in Endrick, who's only 16 years old, but everyone and his mate apparently wants him. Real Madrid, PSG are really heavily into him. But it looks like, because of the Thiago Silva connection, we might just get him. He spent some time with Thiago and the Chelsea team at Cobham, just having a look round, seeing how things work, and yeah, he looks quite an exciting player. I don't go too big on these online show reels. Plays for Palmeiras, but looks the mutt's nuts. And yes, at 16, you don't know how they're going to end up, do you? But it looks like we're in for Endrick, and it looks like he could possibly sign in January, but that we're going to loan him back to the club if he decides to come to us, of course. Then we've got, if I'm saying this wrong, I'm sorry, Josko Gvardiol. Again, a Leipzig player. We seem to like Leipzig, don't we? And yeah, I'll tell you what I've been doing. You can do it yourself. There's a few sites, Transfer Market. I've been using footystats.org. So go and compare some of these players, because I always think you've got to buy better than what you've got. I'm comparing some of these defenders. This Josko Gvardiol, very highly rated. But you know what? His actual stats, in what I perceive as being a weaker league in the Bundesliga, aren't quite as good as Trevor Chalobah's. I remember back in the day when we were buying the Drogbas and the SCNs and even the Czechs of this world, they were rated quite highly in the world. And I don't know if the standard of play has just come down. Let me know what you think. Or do you think we're just going for, instead of going for the Mbappes, we're going for the next tier down, I guess. I suppose it's just the way of the world. Let me know what you think, though. But I was surprised when I look at some of these defenders we're looking at, and the fact that the ones we've got are statistically better players, which is a bit of a worry to me. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. But yeah, Gvardiol, 89.29, as you can see, pass success rate, decent in the air, decent all round really, and he's only going to get better. He's only a young lad, but got Tottenham and Real Madrid in for him as well. Not so worried about Tottenham, I'll be honest. Don't think I've got to explain myself, but when you're Real Madrid to circling it makes you wonder, doesn't it? And I know we need replacements for Kante and possibly Jorginho if he doesn't sign. I know we need midfielders that are gonna fill in for them. And I know you're not going to buy someone who's better than Kante. I looked at his stats; they're unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. When he's fit, comparing him with the De Jongs and the Rices of this world, don't get me wrong, I rate, but they're not even on the same. They're not even on the same planet as Kante when he's fit and on form. Not on the same planet. So who else have we been linked with? Frankie de Jong. Now, statistically, he's a better player than Declan Rice. But as I always say, you're not comparing exactly like we like, because you're comparing players that have played in different leagues. But even at international level, statistically, Frankie de Jong is a slightly better defensive midfielder than Declan Rice, which surprised me, I'll be honest. So Frankie de Jong, apparently Barcelona do want to offload him and Memphis Depay, and we are linked with both of them. But then we're linked with everyone else on the planet that could possibly be for sale, and some of those that aren't for sale. So, no surprise there. So, de Jong, I don't care if we get de Jong or Declan Rice. I think we need one of them, and there's a possibility that we could get de Jong in January. So watch this space. Let me know your thoughts. Who would you rather have, de Jong or Rice? Some of these people I've just gone through the papers and seen who we've been linked with. Edson Alvarez, well, we were linked with him. He's the Ajax midfielder. We were linked with him prior to the season. He almost came, apparently. Linked with him again. Decent player, stat-wise. Denzel Dumfries, he's the guy we're going to buy as backup to Reece James, but a lot of our FIFA managers didn't think much of that, and he's actually setting the World Cup alive for the Netherlands, isn't he? So you can always trust them FIFA managers for their judgment and their supporting skills, can't you? So yeah, Denzel Dumfries apparently could be available in the summer. Rabiot, again, could be available in January. Wouldn't be shocked to see him, but not top notch for me, even though he's had a decent World Cup with France. João Felix at Atletico Madrid, I think he's too lightweight for the Premiership, but what do I know? And Sergej Milinkovic Savic. I know I've said that right. I know I've said that wrong, but I actually like him. I like him. He's sort of like he can play defensive midfielder, but also he's got an attacking aspect to his game. And yeah, I'd be quite excited by that signing. I think he's still only about 28, something like that, isn't he? We've been linked with him season in and season out. It'd be good to get one of these over the line. Jamal Musiala obviously had a good World Cup with Germany, even though they're out, and consequently he's linked with us. Great young player, very, very skillful. Trouble is, all these young players can have the patience to sit and wait for their chance. I'm not so sure, to be honest. See, the Brighton goalkeeper's been linked with us, but also a lot of reports linking us with Jordan Pickford. Apparently, our scouts have been watching him. That's not hard, is it? The England goalkeeper. He had some dodgy games with Everton, remember, at the end of last season, and was sort of shared. But he's been number one pretty much under Lampard. Yeah, he's a decent keeper. I don't think Mendy's done himself any favours, and you know I'm a big Mendy fan, but I don't think Mendy's done himself any favours in this World Cup, do you? Certainly not going for a new contract. So I can see him going, probably double our money on him, I would imagine. And yeah, Jordan Pickford, I think he'd be quite a price. I don't know how long he's got left on his contract. Malo Gusto, Leon, right back, only 19 years old. Could be part of this strategy to buy Europe's best youngsters. Again, will he have the patience to sit there and either wait for Reece James to go, or just, you know, at 19, when you're rated one of the best in the world, do you really go to a club that have got one of the world's best right backs anyway? Let me know your thoughts again. Pau Torres going for about 40 million. Villarreal gets mentioned every year, doesn't he? Again, looking at his stats, you know, Chalobah edges it. I know we need backup, but when you're looking for backup, and both Fofana and Chalobah, by the way, go to footystats.org, they both edge him in every department. I know we need to get a replacement for Thiago Silva, and let's face it, Koulibaly is not pulling up any trees, much to my surprise, because I do rate him, but I think even in the World Cup, the fact that he seems to have... Do you know what I think he tries to do? Because he's getting older, I think he tries to get in a yard quicker for the yard that he's lost. And he keeps catching players and giving away free kicks in proper dodgy positions. So sometimes you have to put your hand on your heart and say, look, I perhaps made a mistake there. I wanted him signed. I've always rated him so highly. But like we've seen with the old Ronaldo saga, age catches up with absolutely everyone. Adrian Rabiot, we've already spoken about, the Juventus midfielder who plays for France, wants to get away from Juventus, coming near the end of his contract. Whether he's that much of a... I don't know. Well, the jury's out for me on him. I say anyone that watches Italian football, please chip in. That's why I do these, so we can all use our collective knowledge to, well, educate each other, really. Rafael Leao, the AC Milan winger. I can't lie, I'm not that overawed. His stats are okay. His stats are pretty good compared to other wingers in Europe, but they're pretty good. You know, are we looking for pretty good? I don't know. And I'll tell you what, also, when we played against him in the Champions League, he didn't half pack up quickly, didn't he? He doesn't seem to have much heart. When I look back at that side that won the Champions League, or even go back before that, Mourinho's first Premier League winners, 2004, 2005, they didn't know when they were beat. They didn't know when they were beat. Even players like Robben, on the odd occasion he was fit, he wouldn't stop running. And that Leao just seemed to pack up so easy for me. Moises Caicedo, midfielder at Brighton. Yeah, he's okay. Bellingham. Saying we'll pay up to 130 million for Bellingham. So would I. I haven't seen much of this World Cup, but what I have seen, Jesus, there's a player that would make us better. I've already mentioned Memphis Depay, going to be out of contract with Barcelona next summer, so needs to find a new home. Depends what the contract was. I might take a chance on him. He's in and out, isn't he? But he looks a quality player. Now, I would have missed a few because we are linked with everyone and his mate. But I think I've covered most of them that are really of any great interest to us. Let me know what I forgot. Let me know what you think of them. Let me know if you need them. Let me know what you think of the players that I've mentioned. And have a little look at their stats online. Don't take my word for it. I've not put all their stats up, otherwise it'd be a pretty boring vlog. But they are worth looking at. So go to Extra Miles, footystats.org, and some quite interesting statistics there. And have a look at Mason Mount. If you hate Mason Mount and want him gone from the club, have a look at his stats, and then you'll see just what we would be missing. And sometimes we just got to be careful what we wish for when we're supporters of a club. I think we're going to, without doubt, lose Kante. He wants to stay at the club, but we're not offering him anywhere near what he wants. He basically wants to renew on his 250 grand a week and have a 3-year contract. We're not going anywhere near that, apparently. Could lose Jorginho. I won't be crying over that. I won't. I'm not going to lie, but a lot of people will be. And every time I say I always rate him technically as a footballer, I do. But I don't think he's great for us. But every time I say it, he has a cracking game, so I should probably keep on saying it. We could lose Kante. Silva is going to sign for another year, they reckon, but obviously he's getting older. Yeah, we need some proper firepower up front, because at the moment we're relying on a 33-year-old and a young lad who I think's going to be brilliant. I know some of you disagree with that, who isn't getting enough minutes. Simple as that. Okay, so let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on the goalkeeper as well. Would you be happy with Pickford? I'd be reasonably happy with Pickford. Or would you just stick with Kepa? There's got to be some reason we're looking at goalkeepers, isn't there? And you don't look at Pickford if he's going to be coming in as a number 2. Maybe we'd get a decent price for Kepa now. I don't know. Right, I'm going. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Okay, please subscribe, as I've already said. Please throw the video a like, and speak to you all soon. Up to Chelsea.